Hello, welcome to Microfiche Microphone. I'm Micah, and on this channel we look at microfiche from the past, old newspaper articles in the public domain. We look at them with our modern eyes, our modern perspective, and see what we can learn from them. In this microfiche time capsule, we are looking back at the London magazine, Gentleman's Magazine, from April 1800. And this article is entitled Effects of Lightning on an Elm at Hanwell. I thought that might be interesting, having them describe a burned out tree from a lightning strike. Yeah. So, let's see what they have to say. Mr. Urban, April 3. May I request the pleasure of your reader's company in a little circuit round Hanwell Church, to admire with me the taste with which the grounds are displayed. The village of Hanwell is at some distance south of the church, but the approach to it is pleasant in summer and dry in winter. The faithful attendance of a pleasing landscape, trees are not wanting for a background in the neat, light-colored walls of this edifice, and its elegant little cupola. Cupola, yeah. The school partakes of the neatness and beauty of the surrounding buildings. The plan is simple, and its pointed windows give an antique Gothic air. I know I'm skipping all of the footnotes. We will come back to it. The footnotes are really long, so we will come back to it. After passing the door of Mr. Glass's hospital dwelling, a scene bursts upon the view with which few spots in the envisions of the metropolis can vie with. A serpentine walk, kept in the most perfect order, leads from the house to the bottom of a steep descent where a rustic temple terminates it. A vast variety of shrubs and trees intervene at pleasing distances, and in one part becomes quite impervious to the light, except in a spot where an opening through the foliage discloses what appears to be an unbounded sheet of water, but in reality is an arm of the river which winds in this charming valley. On one side of the walk stands the decaying king of the forest, grand in his old age, noble and majestic in his vigor. He receives in his capacious trunk the delighted visitor, and shews him through the chasms time and the tempests have made, woods, water, hills, and pasture. Harrow and its steeple, surmounted by stormy clouds, sometimes deluged with rain when the surrounding country is dry, is seen to great advantage, framed, as it were, by nature from this noble trunk. Near it is a garden room with a curious store of ivy branches, and within a collection of minerals, fossils, etc. The whole of the view, including the water, should be seen to comprehend the variety and beauty of the place. In front of the house stand two remarkably handsome cottages, and through the valley this river is seen to glide till it is terminated to the view by a spacious building in the Uxbridge Road, converted by Mr. Glass to a stone colour, which, with the tufted trees of Austerley Park, the woods of Richmond and Petersham, and the distant Surrey hills, close the prospect. Plate 2 represents part of an elm tree, standing to the southern side of the Hanwell churchyard, which was torn by lightning during the time of divine service, on Whit Sunday, May 12, 1799. The electrical cloud, which came in the northwesterly direction, was evidently only a few yards above the surface of the ground, as the part of that tree which met the storm in its course is not by several feet so high as the adjoining cupola of the church. Okay, that's kind of unusual, yeah. The ball of fire, after making a deeply dented furrow in the tree, and scattering the bark in various directions, scooped out a considerable portion of the footpath in a circular cavity, still visible at the foot of the tree. Mr. Glass informed me that no less than 8 trees in the neighborhood felt the effects of the lightning. One of them, a large and solid oak, was rifted apparently by a vertical shock, in the form resembling the open petals of a tulip. Wow! A fragment of the solid timber, weighing upwards of 50 pounds, I think, was torn from the center and thrown to the distance of more than 50 feet from the mutilated trunk. Providentially, no lives were lost. J.P. Malcolm. Wow, that's kind of intense. This is not at all what I was expecting. They were talking about how beautiful it is and how nice it looks and stuff. Anyways, I am happy to look at the footnotes now. So let's take a look. The first footnote was on the word cupola. I'm not actually sure what a cupola is. Maybe they will describe it to us. The church was built in the year 1782 during the incumbency of the late rector, Dr. Glass, having within it two side aisles and a gallery. The altarpiece and its accompaniments are finished in a light and elegant manner, and there is a richly painted window on the north side of the altar. This, I find, on inquiry, has been placed in its present situation since the publication of Mr. Lyson's work, as well as a beautiful mural tablet near the font, the only monument to be seen in the church, on which is the following chaste and appropriate inscription, which may prove an agreeable entertainment to many of your readers, who, while they admire the composition, will perhaps recollect that they are in the neighborhood of very classical ground. And then there's a big old thing in Latin, and I do not speak Latin, so I'm going to skip it. I will include it here for those who want to try and read it, but I'm not even going to bother. All right, so the next footnote was on the word, the school. Yeah, the school partakes of the neatness and beauty of the surrounding buildings. Okay, erected in the last year, the former ancient edifice having been blown down by a hurricane. Oh, well, that's good to know. And then the last footnote is on the word Gothic air. Give it an antique Gothic air. Yeah, for some curious particulars respecting the ancient condition, I must refer your readers to Mr. Lyson's. I feel like the footnotes were slightly unnecessary, but hey. What do I know? I found that very picturesque, the way they were describing it, with trees on this side and a beautiful winding walk. And, I'm sure it's very lovely. I find it interesting that ended up in the newspaper. I'm sorry. But it's not really newsworthy now, is it? I mean, maybe like a lightning-killed tree that was killed last year did make the news. I don't know. It just seems a little strange, that's all. Anyway, I hope you found that as strange as I did. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next video.